Maybe you need to rest. Maybe you need to declutter. Maybe you need to do both. Hey guys, it's Crystal Fry, your personal identity coach and transformational communication strategist. And today I want to talk to you about the need to rest, the need to declutter, and when you find yourself in a situation when you need to do both. I will not be on long tonight simply because that has been the story of my weekend, resting and decluttering. So knowing when you need to rest, like that is really a very important thing. And it took me a very long time to understand when to like pick up on the cues of my body of when I actually needed to rest. Some of you may know my story. I have always been a go, 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 and like everything for everyone, and really not so much for me. And that actually takes a physical toll on you. If you are one of those people and you can, you understand exactly what I'm talking about, you go, you go, you go, you give, you give, you give. And then, like your body, if you do not rest when you should, if you do not take care of it like you're supposed to, if you don't give it water and, give it sleep and things like that, good food, it will shut down on you. And that is exactly what my body used to do. Like I would go and to the point where I would literally have to spend at least a day in bed sleeping, trying to recover from the weeks, months, however long it was before I'd actually slowed down long enough to take a break. And I have learned through studying self-care, through paying more attention to myself, my mental state, right? Like where my thoughts are and where they start to go, like what direction they start to go in, and how I feel physically, like just paying more attention. I've reached a point where I can pick up on the warning signs, right? So I don't have to wait until I'm like really just kind of pushing myself into the ground before I go rest. Well, yesterday, that is where I was. I had started the day or two before, I'd started kind of picking up on the thought, the thought train, and really just kind of not feeling like I had as much energy as I normally do. And I hadn't changed anything, right? No change to the diet or anything like that. So I knew that it was just, it was coming up on time for me to rest. And we had an early day Saturday. We had to go take care of a couple of things, and we were gone for probably about 4 hours from the house. And when I got home, I was like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and just rest. And so that's what I did yesterday. I rested. Now, this morning, I got up and went to church and did all the things I needed to do. And then when I got home, I was like, okay, I've got things I need to get done, but my mind is not in the right place. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, I don't work well in a messy environment, right? And what I mean by messy is, stuff just kind of there. Now, this is interesting for me because I also happen to be a little bit of a clutter bug. So I write notes. I am more of a, when it comes to remembering things and writing things down, I'm getting better at using my phone, but I'm still an analog girl and I still write myself notes. I have sticky notes all over the place. I have notes, here, there, and everywhere because as inspiration comes, I want to write it down. Well, after a little while, that kind of starts to pile up a little bit, right? And you kind of have notes just kind of all over the place and you want to save them because you don't want to, you don't want to lose that thought. But for me anyway, I sat down in my chair and I'm here in my studio in my office. I sat down at my desk and I started looking at all of this stuff and I was like, I can't actually focus on anything because I've got stuff, right? I've got stuff all over the place. I can't focus. So sometimes you need to declutter. And that is what I did today. So I spent a couple of hours in my office really kind of looking around at the space and saying, okay, what needs to be in here? What doesn't need to be in here? And the stuff that's left, how can I better organize it? How can I put it into a better space so that it's cleaner? Because for me and for a lot of other people, your external space has a lot to do with what your internal process is. So again, for me, I know I tend to be a little bit of a clutter bug, but I do at least know that about myself. I'm not a hoarder. Okay. I haven't reached that point. And I actually really mentally, I would love to like throw away everything and be very, very minimalist, but that's a topic for another day. It's a struggle right now too, because no one else wants to do that but me. Anyway, I digress. But I needed to declutter. And so if you find yourself, so I actually needed to do both, right? I needed to rest yesterday so that I could make sure that I was taking care of my body. I have gotten into the practice of using Saturdays as like my self-care day. So the day that I did kind of rest and really not do a whole lot of, heavy activity, really not do a whole lot of stuff. But the past, probably for the past month, we've had a lot of things going on and that hasn't quite worked out the way I wanted it to. So I just reached a point yesterday where I was like, you know what? Nope, let's take care of this now before it reaches a point where my body does it for me. It's so nice like that. It will, seriously, it'll make me feel like I'm getting the flu or like I'm coming down with a cold. My sinuses act up. It is the craziest thing ever. So if you find yourself in that place where you're overworking yourself and you're not giving your body the proper rest or the proper hydration, water also does it to you. When you get dehydrated, you're not feeling so good. If you're not giving your body those things that it needs, if it's anything like mine, it will shut down for you and give you all kinds of funky little problems. And then after you sleep for a day, you're fine, right? But so don't let it get to that point. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself properly. Anyway, so I just wanted to come on tonight quickly and remind you, one, pay attention to your body, and when you need to rest, do it. Take the rest, take the short rest so that you don't find yourself in a place where you have to take a much longer one because your body is at a point of depletion where it really needs a lot of recovery time. And two, take the time to declutter your space. If you are feeling, I usually start to feel like I'm in a fog. Like my brain is kind of all over the place. And so my thoughts aren't really super clear and focused. That's just kind of how I start to realize that I should probably take a look around at my space and see if my notes have gotten to a point where there's so many of them. My brain is trying to attach to all of those ideas that it sees on the sticky notes sitting on my desk. That's really not all that good for me if I'm trying to focus on a particular project. So if you need help on or tips on, I may do something about that. Tips about resting and self-care and tips about decluttering. I may do something on that later. So anyway, but if you have any thoughts or you need anything quick, shoot me a quick message. I'm always happy to help. And I will see you guys all again very soon. I'll actually see you all tomorrow. But right now that I've rested and now that I've decluttered, I've got work to do. So I hope you all have a great night and I will see you again real soon. Take care.